get mad. You've got to get mad.
Yell, I'm as mad as hell, and
I suppose in the 18-year history of our show, we've never had any star who's won such affectionate acceptance.
Put a chick in it, make her gay. Ain't nobody got time for that.
They were big. They were hitting hard too, man.
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills!
Broaden the areas of participation for women.
That sounds very stylish.
what is my problem?
What do you think? Beat sitting home watching television?
Hello. Can everyone see me? I was getting some like weird messages from the YouTubes. Let me see here. Can people hit like a 1 in the chat if they can see me and this thing is working? Let's see. I see yes from Jeremy. Oh, Woden shot here to take his shot tonight. Heck yeah. Okay, so it looks like we're doing all right, except for one little tiny hiccup. It looks like my star guest is running a bit late. So, he had to probably get himself all presentable and everything. I don't know if he'll come as mange or not. I think the rule is if he's pitching a comic, he's got to be real serious and everything. So, hopefully, hopefully he'll get here before too long. But until then, you guys are stuck with me. I'm so sorry. Speak of the devil. I was just going to touch on some topics and have some fun here. But without further ado, let's bring in our good guest here with... See, this is the problem with not streaming more often is... you kind of forget where everything's located. So let's see. No, I don't want that. Bear with me here. Let's just go with, this.
She's tampering in dark-sided stuff. Yes, she did. The entire house is dark-sided.
Well, it's October 1st. We're at the start of the scary season. So, mic check.
Am I coming through okay?
Yeah, you're good.
Ah, my God, I got that right. Thank God. Thank God.
Well, a couple people already in anticipation of your arrival. We're kind of giving you some crap. I do see Woden shot in the chat. So, things are right. The stars are aligned. Because I think he's kind of like the yin to your yang. And he is the balance that that keeps you.
He's more like the bane to my existence.
Yes. Well,
Right.
I don't know. He's so cute. How could you not like that cute little feathery, the feathery fucker?
He's only picking the flesh from my bones. He's so cute. You
That's
suck,
what
Shane.
vultures
You'll
do.
reach 200K. You think you're tough. You ain't nothing. I own you, Shane. Mikey from Karate Kid 3.
Yeah, bring it. Quiet.
Yeah. Let me grab a drink. I left my drink over here at the table. I'll be right back.
Drink. Okay.
Drink. I got to get my drink on.
Get your drink on. We got several people in the chat. Say hello. Let me go down the list. Oh my God, you guys are joining. I'm so excited. Of course, we have Mortal V. We have Zombie Boy. Hello. Perfect name for this time of the year. Asian O, the Time Outlaw. Apex Comics, hail. Let's see, we got Steve Giblin. Woo!
Oh, my camera got moved around. I got like cats running all over my computer. Whenever I go upstairs, I come down the next day to my studio. My soundboard, my camera. It's like, I don't know if they're streaming when I'm asleep.
Probably.
I don't understand why everything's like, why would my camera be moved? It's like,
well, I mean, that's just what cats do. I mean,
no, that's not what they should be doing. I mean,
they probably have more subscribers than you do, Shane.
Probably everybody, probably.
the whole meme with cats, and if the world was flat, so listen up, John Malin, if the world was really flat, the
Right.
cats would have pushed everything off of it by this point. So that just kind of debunks his flat earth theory, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, it's science. You can't.
Science. You can't argue with it.
Oh my God. Somebody might have a theory here. Your cats are attracted to stale Coomer sweat smell. We figured it out. Did the keys kind of stick a little bit for you, Shane?
No, they didn't. They smell like frisky treats. So like there's cat treats all over my keyboard.
Fancy feast all over the
Fancy
keyboard.
feast. Fancy
Oh.
feast. Don't drink from your pee bottle, Shane. Yeah, I have yet to pee on the stream. All the years I've been streaming, you get it, the pun streaming, pee stream, I haven't done it yet. I haven't done it yet. And I'm considering it. Like, I think I'm just gonna have a jug of like Kool-Aid and just pretend, I mix it up. Like, here's my jug of urine and here's my jug of lemonade.
Yeah.
And then on stream, I'll just mix it up as a bit. I said it here, so when you guys see it happen on another stream,
I
you'll
feel
know.
like it needs to be Tang and not Kool-Aid.
Tang?
Tang seems more like that would be Mange's kind of
Urine? You're saying mange would have a darker urine?
it's, a little bit of a UTI going on or
A
something.
urinary tract infection.
Oh God, see, we were taking it there. Fritzy Schnitzel Sprechen. This interview went straight into the toilet. I mean, it was already tout. Well, anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I know it was kind of short notice, and
Well, we were trying to put some, for people who know, we were trying to put something together while the campaign was live, and it's ending tomorrow night. So we got, we were able to cobble this together. I got sidetracked between Baltimore and then getting back from Baltimore. Like that's the one thing I don't like about cons that nobody talks about.
Yeah.
It's the getting ready for the con. Then there's the doing the con. But it's the coming home and unpacking and getting everything right back. Because, I have to take a lot of like my pencils and prints and books, and then I have to get everything right back into order. It's not like I can just jump back to work, sleep, whatever,
it's everything's where you want it, except when the cat knocks it off or pees on it. But everything in its place and a place for everything. I can totally respect that. I was going to ask you, how was the convention?
It was a huge success for me, and I think a huge success for Comicsgate, even though I know there's a lot of people that were against it. It was, I think, very important that we were able to go out there and basically erect this really awesome booth. I can tell you, like at the end of the con, we were packing up, and Tom King was standing there in front of my booth with his little posse, right?
Was he depressed and gay?
Well, so this is what happened. It's not like they're kind of, all their backs are turned and they're talking to me, but he can kind of face me. So I know he's looking at our booth and acknowledging us. And he didn't even have that much of a line or anything. We had like tons of traffic at my booth at, on my side. And this is when I knew like it was a huge success. In the middle of their conversation, there's about 8 people like surrounding him, right? He just out of the blue goes, Warner Brothers has tons of money. And I was like,
all right. What?
That's just a weird thing to turn the volume, like you were at like 6 and now you're cranked it up to like 11. That you need.
Was he name dropping or like what do you think?
No, it was just like out of the blue. That just is the only thing I could hear. Like, because he raised his voice to let everybody know on the con floor that DC Comics, although he can't sell a book for them, they have tons of money. And everybody should run to DC Comics. And I thought that was, kind of compensating. I thought it was for a guy who got kicked off of Batman for low sales and that has yet to really sell anything at DC
Comics.
Comics.
He made Batman a whiny beesh, come on, guys. Nobody wants the Dark Knight to be crying
Mortal
in a
V says,
corner.
"What a weird flex." That's my point, right?
Yeah.
Like, why? I mean, nobody's guessing. And as far as comics go, yeah, Warner Brothers has money, because we are like comics is such a small part of that corporate entity. But that doesn't mean it's okay that comics don't turn a profit.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think, like, that's the bigger issue, but the fact that he needed to come to my booth and say that in front of
Warner
all his
Brothers has
peers.
lots of money. They're making it rain, y'all.
Yeah, but here's the trick, Tom, are you making them that money? No, you're not. That's the thing, like, you're just taking, and, it's almost like a tick saying, like, "This dog has lots of blood, let's go!"
Let's go. Oh my lord. So did you feel like you got a lot of
Yeah.
newcomers, like people that just maybe stumbled across your booth and were like, "Whoa, what is this? What am I seeing here?"
So
Got your
Friday was
kitties, got
yeah.
your monsters, your beasts.
So dude, it was such a crazy mix for me. So first, I get a lot of people coming to me right away that are like, "I haven't seen you in 4 years," and I'm
Wow.
like, "Yeah." They're like, "Dude, I thought you died." And
Yeah, I
here's
was gonna
here's the
say, do they think you died?
well, here's the thing. I mean, I know a lot of these guys, and I used to do a lot of cons, right? And this is also why, like, if you guys ever look back in the Dungeoneer room, those files, not to go into that there was a big pressure that I go to the cons they want me to go to. I do have a rapport with people for 20 plus years going to Wizard World cons and stuff, doing sketches, signing books, stuff like that. So I get when I go to one of these cons, I do see people who are like, "I haven't seen you in 4 years," and it's like,
Mm.
yeah, I've been doing crowdfunding. I'm still making comics, and they have no idea that I still make books. And that's what's great is because then I'm turning them on to crowdfunding. Now, if I go, "Hey, I'm funding right now," they're like, like, I don't really do that. But I'm like, "Here's some already made books that you can buy." I try to keep a $25 reprint copy, just so it's easy for these guys to walk in the door. Oftentimes, though, they'll spend more, like $45 or
Mm.
$55 for the cover I drew from the first campaign. But
Yeah.
I do give them the option to walk in at, like, basically a price with somebody else's cover, like a convention cover or something like that. So there was a ton of those guys. So relatively speaking, I was doing the math. Just Friday, which was a short day, I made more money than I did all 3 days at Tampa Bay Comic Con.
Whoa. How is
Saturday,
this set up? I wanted to ask real quick. Is it more comic books than Tampa? Because I know Tampa was kind
yeah,
of disappointing, with the amount
it
of
it
comic.
was we went through videos on Kings and talked about it. I was, like, blown away, like, how Baltimore Comic Con was so much long boxes, okay? And Marvel and DC, like, basically is I don't know, they're not even making money on the con floor because, they're just trading old issues. Now, why I
Right.
mean, I say they're not making money is they made that money back in the '70s, back in the '80s. Marvel and DC aren't getting a dollar off that stuff. So, and I'm talking not just old people. I saw young couples, like they look like they're in their 20s digging through long boxes up under tables, like
Kids.
they're crawling up under tables. Very now there was manga, but the manga and anime statues, I would say maybe made up like 1/8 of the con. Like if I had to say, because I walked that floor like 2 or 3 times, I was
Mm.
like, I gotta see this.
How was it
And
size-wise compared to Tampa?
original artwork that I had never seen before. Travis Trey pieces, $75,000. A lot, and I'm not talking just one
Whoa.
booth. I'm talking like we were looking at that on Kings too. I mean, I've never seen that much original artwork from some artists that are still living, some that aren't, like Darwin
Mhm.
Cook, at a con at multiple places too. I mean, this was like the biggest as far as just this is books and comic books. This was it. Now, I did see some new comics. Now, this is where it's sad. I saw like Third Eye Comics, who I had done some covers for before as a retailer at Marvel Comics back in the day. And I've been to their stores. They had about, I want to say 3 stores, but I think maybe now they're more into gaming from what I understand.
Hmm.
But they had long boxes, and you'd have to go through the long boxes to get to their new comic wall. That is the only booth I saw with new comics. I'm talking the new stuff, like whatever's going on at Marvel, whatever's going on at DC in these weeks. Sunday, they were half off the new comics. Like,
Wow.
now, just to put that in perspective, they're just not taking that stuff home. They're not making any money off of it. That's
Fire
what the
sale.
retailer pays for it. That is just like, can we just not take this back with us? We're okay not making any money on it. And that was
Mm.
alarming to me, to see in this whole con that nobody's selling new comics, and if they are, that they're having to discount them to half off because nobody bought them Friday or Saturday. So
Yeah.
there is definitely like an interest in comics, okay, but it's not the new stuff, And if I was somebody like Tom King, I would be nervous as hell. Like, if I
Yeah,
was somebody
he's
working in American comics right now, I'd be nervous as hell.
might be looking for another career opportunity. I don't know. Was he ex-CIA? Is he the one that used to work for the CIA?
Yeah, but he's also being pulled into this James Gunn stuff too that they're doing at DC. He's like one of the people involved with that. So I think
Mhm.
he's already got one foot out the door already.
Mm.
So but that's why, again, him saying, "Oh, they got lots of money." It's like, yeah, it ain't from selling any books at this con, though, is it?
Yeah, yeah,
It,
for
it's
real.
and that's the big problem. And Jim Lee was there, and I said this on Kings too. I was like, he should have been made to walk that floor in a costume or something where nobody knew he was there. Like, anybody working at Marvel and DC should have really paid attention to what was happening on that showroom floor, because it's mind blowing to me. In all the years I've worked in comics, how much trading of comics is happening, but it's nothing new.
Yeah, but I mean, it almost seems like they don't even care at this point,
Hang on, let me correct that. There is something new, and that was me and John. Okay.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
even other artists that were set up like at Essential Sequential or stuff, I'd see Jeff Loeb or Art Adams. They're selling old volumes of their old material, like omnibus or collections or stuff like that, signed. So we were probably the biggest new comic appearance there, and like I said, all day Saturday, I just in that one day, I made more than I did at Heroes Comic Con, just on
Dang.
Saturday sales. And I really wasn't even taking commissions. I did a few sketches and one commission for a CG'er, but like, I was selling. I mean, I was really low on stock. I think I brought back like maybe 1/3 of the stock I took. So that was really good, because we were at a point where we were like, I'm going to sell out of certain things. And
Yeah.
we made a free shipping code for our website if somebody came up to my table wanting something that we didn't pack enough of. And there was some things I should have packed and I didn't. But
Any idea, did John's QR code, did that work at all? Is that something that might become a thing where you'll have a QR code where people
I
can just
I don't know, because the size of our booth, it wasn't like me and John got to interact that much at the
Mm.
booth. I mean, our display was pretty huge. I mean, that was the one thing we wanted to do if we were going to go to a con and set up. We really wanted to have an appearance. We wanted to, really draw people to us. And
Yeah.
as far as my side of the booth, I had help. A couple of CGers came by. They were great, and they helped out like the booth. I mean, we needed help. If we ever do it again, we have to bring some people with us, because it was just too hard to manage. A lot of people walking up, they had questions. I sold a lot of Starlight Cats, a lot of
That's
Starlight Cats,
great. Yeah.
which is weird in a way, but good that I have two properties. Like, here's my monster book and here's my all ages book, and a lot of times I end up just selling them both. You
Yeah.
know,
Well, I
which
think that's something we need more of, is all ages books. Get the young people in, get them excited for the comics.
I agree, because I kind of got into comics as a kid reading like Scrooge McDuck and stuff. So I understand the
Really?
appeal of it. Yeah. Yeah. My cousins would hand me down comics, and I would get some Spider-Man and Scrooge McDuck and stuff like that. And I'm actually looking back at some of the old getting the collections now, and that stuff's really good. Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
these were actually really quality, put together books, but it's, I mean, the problem I'm having is I'm just one person, right? Like, so it's really hard for me to do Starlight Cats and Inglorious Rex at the same time. And we do have a script for Starlight Cats too. I'm not happy with like about the last third of it. I'm not happy with. I'm excited. The first 2/3 of it's great. It's just the last third I'm not sold on, and I'm wanting to rework it. But we're so busy with Inglorious Rex. It's just a matter of
Yeah.
like me trying to. If I could just do like 2 books a year drawing and not stream and not do any promotion and stuff like that, it'd just be a whole different thing for me. But that is part of what crowdfunding is. We have to get out here. We have to let people know what we're doing, and we have to, whether that's at a con or it's on a live stream or promo stream, it's a lot of buy my book type of stuff,
For sure.
or get the pitch out there because there's no company, there's no 80-year legacy character selling my book.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm selling something new. And I have to explain to you why you should care and why you should invest in it and why it's important to you as a reader.
Exactly. And that sounds like a good point. Before we start diving into Inglorious Rex book 3, let's go ahead. I'm going to play the trailer real quick, and then we can kind of recap for those who might be new what the story is about and everything. But yeah, that was my kind of segue. It's a little rough, but kind of getting in there.
It's a little. We got us there. It got us.
Got us there. Got us there. All right, let's go ahead and hit it. Bam! Yeah, I love that trailer or trailer.
Trailer.
Yeah, it's
Yes,
awesome.
we are, and this is our Indiegogo. So, like,
Yeah.
just for people who don't know, you can back us at Indiegogo or you can back us at Nine Lives Comics. One of the things that I haven't really been bragging about is we are at the moment $198,307. Okay, we are on
Yes.
our way. We are on our way to 200K. Us, we're doing it.
Bringing that energy. I love it. I love
Me
it.
and you, one and shot. We're doing it. 200K, buddy. Let's go.
Thank
Woo!
you, shot. Yeah, I actually added it too. I was gonna. Do you want me to just pull it up from you, or I can go over to
It
the
doesn't
other?
matter. If you pull it up for me, I can kind of scroll it a little bit
Okay, yeah.
differently and
You can
talk about it.
handle it a little bit better than I can.
Let's go.
Let's
But what
go.
now? Here's what's amazing, guys, is we have about I guess 3/4 of our funding, almost 3/4 of our funding are actually coming on our website right now. Not. I'm sorry.
Not coming on my website. They're on our website.
Yeah. All right. So we got
Damn.
way to 200K, boys. Let's go. Whoa! What a shot. That's me and you, buddy, together. All right. So this is great. This is fantastic. For people who don't know our website, Cooming, our website, you're able, if you're logged in, and if you want to add something to this is what's beautiful. But this is actually, Yancey's like, don't tell people this. Because people are out here like, Shane, you're doing worse than ever.
Shane, you're doing worse than ever, boy. Look at you.
And I'm like, no,
Haters.
I'm not.
Haters.
No, I'm not. We're losing money on shipping. Let me explain. If you were logged in to this site, a wobbly stool tier for Wooden Shot.
I don't know.
Wooden Shot's like, Wooden shots at Home Depot. He's
like, excuse me, sir, I got this here sturdy rope. What aisle can I find the wobbly stools at to go with this rope? For when I fall, the rope will catch me. Know what I'm saying?
And Wooden Shot, I talked him off that ledge. Thank God.
Yeah, don't do it, Wooden Shot.
Yeah,
You
don't
gotta
do it.
Stay
There's
with
people.
This.
There's nobody that cares about you, and you need to spite me. I mean, what would I do without Wooden Shot? I'd smile more. You know, probably enjoy a cup of coffee.
He's the Joker to your Harley Quinn. Well, Batman, I guess, but yeah.
He's like, what the fuck, bro? But all right, so if you're logged in and you've already backed, you're like, well, I want to come back and I want to back, like, say, a Master Race, or I want to back another cover or something like that.
Hold on. Put the brakes on here for a second. First of all, could you give us your RILL spiel? How would I pronounce that in mange? For Inglorious Rex, the world of Inglorious Rex, real quick, for those newcomers who are like, I see this big burly beast thing. What the heck is this about? I know you're sick of saying this for the 500th time.
Every fighter has a beast within, but can he control it? When that beast is out, the world of an Inglorious Rex, we follow up-and-coming fighter Alex Stone as he is being presented with a grudge match, a Rex championship fight. But here's the catch. It's against the guy that killed his brother, and he has to now pilot his late brother's Rex. What is a Rex? A Rex is a genetic clone of a fighter's DNA turned into a kaiju, and the pilot then laces his neural system up to the kaiju's neural system, and they pilot it. And this is what's important. To protect Arc City, they need the best fighters possible, piloting Rexes with the best reflexes, the best moves, the most power shots, to save the last human city. And that's where we're at. We have this crazy, I hate the term world building, but we have went out here and set the table for all.
Come on, man. What are we talking about?
Sorry.
I've set the table, boys. Whoa! It's a great story. It's a great story. You know, it started off as where it starts, if you're new, it's kind of a revenge story, okay? It's a family story though. It's a family story though. Let's be honest. It's a family story. It's about a family that, you know, that they were destroyed by a fight and now they're being brought together with a fight. So it's great. It's great. It's great. Now the bigger
you have
story,
giant, huge, hulking beasts of monsters. I mean, what more could you want? All right.
And
so now that we have the pitch out of the way, if we haven't confused all the newcomers, well, you know, they'll figure it out along the way.
Well,
but
it's a little different though. Where we find ourselves in book 2 is the bigger picture, right, if you will, of Inglorious Rex, and that is what are Rexes even built to do. And this is something that we're going to be covering in book 3 and book 4 and so on, is that is defending the city. It's not about your vendettas. It's not about exactly being the best fighter. It's about, can you now defend the city? And that's why they fight these things to begin with, is to get them to evolve, to get them to be better, to pull different arsenal out of these things through sort of just becoming stronger, or like I said, evolving new techniques and abilities.
Yeah, so it isn't just sport, it's life or death. I mean, it's, you know, it's a huge responsibility piloting your Rex and being able to be powerful enough to protect the city from this bigger threat that we are just, as readers, just now starting to discover and learn about. So. And
that brings us to the Vial, right? Which are the creatures like in this cover and on those pages, and this big thing in the background, and that is a bigger part of the world of Inglorious Rex. Is you find out the outside, you know, outside the city, which is protected up under a dome. You can't breathe. You know, the toxins have killed everything. The Vial kill anything living, and they eat them, and they basically, you know, emit toxins. So they're, in a way, they're wiping the whole planet of life, right? So it's important that the Rexes are there, primed and ready, fearless even,
Yeah.
whenever the city comes under attack. If the dome breaks, if these things
Then
get
it's death
through,
for everybody.
that's it.
Yeah.
Everybody's dead.
Real quick here, $2 from Jay Bama. Woo! Thanks, Jay. It all started in Tampa, Shane. Kiss, kiss.
Pinch, and then
Pinch.
that's my
Oh,
ass.
yeah,
Yeah.
the pinch the ass. Yes, thank you. That's right.
I appreciate that, Jay. That you remember. That meant a lot more to you than it did me, Jay.
Yeah, I think that was one of his greatest moments.
No, I mean, like, he's still thinking about me. To me, it was just another Saturday.
But yes, about the dome. Protect the dome.
Well, but I mean, it's, that's the hero side of being a Rex pilot. This is also a lot of the drive for a person to want to pilot a Rex and be
Right.
chosen to be a Rex pilot is you are kind of a protector and savior of the city. There's a lot of obviously like prestige behind that and everything. You're the champion. Imagine if Mike Tyson could be Superman. He's able to save the city, but also be Mike Tyson, at the same time. So
That would be just now I'm getting a visual and I can hear that voice.
yeah.
Oh, dear Lord.
So, but here's the twist on this is, for people who have been reading the book, and this is not a really big surprise. Alex can't really control 232, and there's a mystery in 232 because 232 is the only Rex that has ever spoke. No Rexes can speak. Little T did not build Rexes to speak. So we're going to be following that, in 3, more so in 3 and also 4. This
And
is
then,
a
of course,
Ethan Van Sciver cover of
yeah,
Little
that
T.
was just hot. I was almost going to have that as the thumbnail for this video, but yeah,
It's too hot for YouTube.
too hot for YouTube.
Mm.
Could have George Takei on there, like, oh my.
And and it's weird. I know, like, that sounds like a lot of convoluted type sci-fi stuff. I just kind of shotgun blast you guys with, and I oftentimes don't go down all those technical things because it is a complicated world I've built. But a lot of people get caught up. A lot of people get caught up in the world itself, and I'm actually here focused on the protagonist. The motives, where these characters are going, and the story behind these characters. So, like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of mystery still behind like the creatures, the vile. I haven't really explained them yet in the book to the audience in full extent because it's not really necessary. Right now, we're really just focused on Alex. And, I like to think of him metaphorically as a guy that ended up in a bar fight to find himself in a war. And hopefully at the end of this, he'll be a war hero.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's like on the surface level, the premise seems pretty straightforward, like post-apocalyptic world. The survivors are trying to, do the best they can. They have these monsters to defend themselves, but underneath all that, I think the story, all the different layers that you're putting together are pretty compelling. And with each book, you delve a little bit more into that. It's like peeling back the layers of the onion, and I really like that about the series. So, what at first with the first book seems very straightforward, you realize, okay, there is a lot more to this. As book 2 came out, the supplemental. Thank God I finally corrected my problems with myself and got the supplementals. But yeah, this is a deep world that you're creating, and I'm really digging it.
yeah, and we sow a lot of seeds in our supplementals. Like, we have a lot of characters that are coming back. Like Mace is coming back from supplemental 1. And we have a new character. Let me see. I got some pages of him somewhere. But this is 232 Beast Mode. So this is a book on its own that's actually a prequel. You don't have to have it, but the Rex that's in this book, Snapper, is going to be he's part of 3 and 4, the Resurrection Program. The Resurrection Program is when a Rex has been defeated, and Little T says, they're not so bad. Let me rebuild that Rex. Let me take some of the DNA and cook something up better, bigger, and better. So talking about the concept, I always like the idea of these things fighting to evolve, right? I did kickboxing for years, and there's things that you do to strengthen your shins, right? Shin
Oh
conditioning.
yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
You basically cause micro fractures, so your shin grows back. The cracks, micro fractures, like they fill in, and every time they heal, it in theory makes your shin harder,
It's almost
right?
like getting an exoskeleton over your shins or something.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah, 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 yeah. So the bone becomes stronger, and that way it can inflict more damage, and it's just a thing. And you can look up reels of people's shins just cracking in half, and they try to stand. They don't know their legs broke, and they just collapse. It's really disgusting. You can go look that up on
yeah,
YouTube.
I've seen some UFC videos where I was just like,
Uh,
oh.
Yeah, it's it's it's
Oh.
it's like it's pretty disgusting. But so I like the idea of these things fighting to actually become something better, something stronger, something with more abilities and stuff. So little T, let's say if like Rex has 3 evolutions just for a number, right? And they make it all the way to evolution number 3, like
Like a
Razor, right?
Pokemon.
Razor's a good example. She's one of the Rexes I've actually shown, like,
Yeah.
and talk about her evolution. Like, she has these harpoons on her back that really give her a big advantage against other
Yeah,
Rexes.
distance and everything. Her
Distance, but
reach.
she can paralyze if they hit you. There is a venom in them. So, like in book 1, she incapacitates a bigger Rex by hitting his leg and jacking up his leg, and then she kicks his head off when he can't move. So there's
Set up.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, but that Rex, she should have never been in the cage with him. He was so much bigger than her. So, so let's say if she died at this evolution with the harpoons, and Lil T was like, she had something. Let me take some DNA from that Rex and make a new Rex for anatomic based off of where she was. Her level 3 evolution would now be her base level evolution into a new Rex.
Right.
So
And for those who aren't aware, Little T is like the fighting promoter, organizer. He, I guess, gets all the Rexes together and controls these fights. But he's also responsible for, I guess, sending them out into the city as well.
he's probably the most powerful guy in Arc City, not because and we do a whole little speech about it in book 2, but he comes off as like this shady promoter
Yeah,
and everything,
like a
but
Don
he's
King kind of thing.
Don King type of thing, right? But he's our mastermind, and he's kind of I always like the characters working on Superman and stuff like Lex Luthor, right? Obviously, he's the bane to Superman's existence, but it's not like without a power suit or something, he's going to go toe to toe with Superman. I like the whole mastermind part of Lex Luthor. So in Inglorious Rex, I really did want like that type of character. So he's not just like a promoter and stuff. He's the only guy that can build the weapons that will protect the citizens. So he's uber powerful as far as like persuading people with money and power. I mean, he's kind of like the city's only defense in a weird way. Now, he doesn't hold a position as like a governor or something of the city, but he does provide also with Rex fighting entertainment to keep the citizens believing that they're able to have a human society again, that they're able to do jobs, do things, build resources that the citizens need, and the illusion that everything's okay because we have Rexes. So
Yeah, real quick here from Grim Jim 666 for 10 pounds. This is a fantastic talk about the story, characters, and world that is just being created around this. It's fantastic. Knowing where you want to take this is it hard to sit down and work panel to panel? And this is what somebody commented earlier when I posted that we were going to be streaming together again. They said, oh, great, because I loved Shane's interview before. And I just said, it's pretty much you because you are so passionate about your craft and creating these characters and everything that you make these interviews just so easy. It's kind of like I could just go, Inglorious Rex, go, and you just light up and start talking about everything. So,
well, I'm at the. It's a lot easier now because I'm at the point of like so much has been rebuilt, that I'm actually able to say, "Hey, this is what I'm doing," and that was the hardest part with what to be honest with book one. Because
Yeah.
until you get to book one, at the end of it, you don't really understand why these things are even fighting. You know, is it to answer this super chat? Is it hard just to sit down and work on it? So I kind of developed this and learned this when I worked for Legendary Movie Studios for about 3 years. I basically built a story Bible, and people are going to refer to this as story world building in a way, but it's really kind of called a story Bible. And that's when I have like all these technical things figured out, past, present, and future, right? Like, so there's a past figured out with, like, say, Alex's mom that I refer to, but I never tell you what it is. And it's a, maybe I'll never even put it in the series, but it is a motivational factor to how, like, say, Nate will act, his brother, in a flashback, or how Alex acts, or how Ron, his father, acts. Like, I have that key that is kind of like a code for all these transactions with the characters. And I have all this figured out and written out. I have a timeline. So whenever I do these supplementals, I'm like, what's the continuity of, say, Razor fighting and where Alex hasn't had a Rex yet, but they're dating. So
Yeah,
I'm
I can
able to
imagine
just,
that gets complicated. Like you would need to have that timeline where you can kind of look at it for reference and make sure that everything makes sense in the story.
yeah, it's definitely a thing. Um, But once I've had that Bible figured out, then I pick, like, what is my story, because like I said before, a lot of people get hung up on the world building, and they put so much into the world that they think the world is the story, but it's not. You still need basically a human story with motivation, with antagonist, with growth in the character, and that's where your story is at.
Apparently, Wodenshot's a big fan of timelines.
Yeah, I mean, but what I've I've said in a lot of interviews, I've been working on this in one way or the other since 2010. So there's elements of this book that come from other pitches or things I was working on that I was like, I don't like this idea or this pitch, but I did like, say, this concept of, like, in one pitch of a human society kind of hurtled together on the event horizon, right? Like they're doomed, but they're trying to maintain some sort of order and
Yeah.
some sort of get up and go to work tomorrow. I kind of like that, and that's a big part of Arc City. In this book, it kind of was something I developed in another pitch that I just there was problems with it, but I liked that one element. So it wasn't ever like Inglorious Rex is one of these things where I never really just said, set down, I have to make a book in like a month, like I'm on a deadline, and I just have to cook something up. Like, a lot of the concepts and ideas in Inglorious Rex have been kind of brewing for years, so
Yeah, I
it's
would
just
think
been kind of,
so. Yeah, the different
yeah,
layers and everything.
yeah.
Um, I was going to ask, I was kind of thinking this earlier today as I was trying to think of certain questions that I wanted to ask you. When you sit down to create a new Rex, like what is your method for, I guess, designing the look of it? Like, do you start out with kind of like a base, maybe animal or something for inspiration and then, work from there?
Uh, it's weird. Because I was a big anime fan and things like Guyver and stuff. I really like the
Fiverr, yeah. One
Zoinoids
of the
in it.
few I've seen.
Yeah, I liked a lot of those anime type monster bad guys, but when I worked on Mysteries in Space at DC Comics, I had this interesting book called well, it was an interesting concept. Everything was on a space station of a bunch of aliens, and I only had one human and one dog. And everything else I came up with, it was like whatever you feel like drawing. So if I felt like a bat creature looked interesting, or a breed of bat, I'd make an alien based off of the shape of its nose and ears and stuff like that. Or weird sea life or something. I'd kind of try to work into
Mm.
an alien or something like that. So a lot of times when I do look at these things, I do kind of like look at nature. Like I know with what was the character Rune? Yeah. With Guns Rex, his first version at least, a lot of it was like the spine on crocodiles and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And then when I was like, I thank God this Rex is getting destroyed. I don't want to keep drawing every scale on him over and
A
over
little
again.
complicated. I
Yeah, it
like the
was all
look of
and
him here. He looks like he's kind of radioactive or something almost. And then,
yeah, yeah, and this is actually like one of my new favorite designs. I've designed a lot of Red Lanterns and stuff that get a lot of
mhm.
mileage in like Lego video games and stuff like Bleez, Dexter, Scalox. A lot of these characters have been in multiple animated versions still. Like last animated versions were like Justice League Adventures, I think. So I've designed a lot of characters that get a lot of traction in video games, Injustice, Lego movies, Lego
Yeah.
video games, cell phone video games. I just get paid for it. But this is one of my new favorite designs, and so my goal here was to make him simpler to draw. So I this is where and then in the end I end up with more complicated. I was like, I'm gonna give him 4 arms because he's
Yeah.
like a
I
new
was gonna
version,
say.
right?
Reminds me of like, what was his name? Goro from Mortal Kombat, you know?
Yeah, Goro, that type of 4-arm effect. But that actually plays into the story, the 4 arms and Gun being able to his neural because he doesn't have 4 arms. So how does he think how to fight with 4 arms? That actually
Yeah.
will work into a little bit more because Gun's actually missing an eye and he's got an eye patch. But now, if you'll notice the laces in the lace suit, the red beams that are kind of coming across his forehead, he's actually now wired straight in. He didn't lose his eye. They removed it so the lace suit can jack straight
Oof,
into his brain now.
that's
So
brutal.
he now has like the most direct link to his Rex. He's been wired like that. That's going to play into the story a little bit, and especially the 4 arms. Technically, this is the biggest, best Rex Little T's made is Rune 2.0. But that might mean he's the most reckless and hard to
Mm.
control at the same time.
Hint, hint.
Hint, hint. So there's a lot going on there. But when I designed this, I was like, I kind of want to do something a little. I thought I was designing him a little simpler to draw. He became more complicated. I drew the Thing a couple of times at Marvel Comics, so I wanted to do those kind of plates that the Thing has, but I like Venom a lot. So I kind of came up with this heavy contrast, black and white
Mhm.
type build. And then I just went in there and I kind of emulated some anatomy designs, but tribal type designs. And by the time I was done, I think it's 20 times harder than the first version I ever drew of the
Great.
character.
You're a
And
glutton for punishment.
I may be tasked to destroy him again. I think it's somebody in the chat. I think Matt has a question. He goes, why is Lil T the only person in the future that speaks with Ebonics? Because it makes the cast interesting because he stands out and a lot of people like him. He actually is like almost a fan voted character. But I also have Mace the Kid, and he speaks with a Southern accent. So he's
Mhm.
not the only person that has. It's just a way to dice up characters and make them stand out. And
Yeah, yeah, give the characters kind of an extra layer too for the reader as they're reading them. And I find I guess this would be true for most people, but I kind of hear the voice a little bit in my head while I'm reading it. So when stuff's kind of spelled out phonetically or whatever in their accent, I can kind of hear it that way in my head too, you know?
somebody says Rune's evolution looks badass. That I am glad he is staying in the story. A
Yeah.
lot of that was the weird thing. So out of all the characters I come up in this book, I think maybe I've said this with you or somebody else. I'm more surprised people don't bring up Ron, Alex's dad, a little bit more because I feel like I have some of the best moments with him. You know,
Mm. When he's trying
um,
to guide Alex and give him some encouragement and everything.
yeah. I had a weird technique with Alex. I really wanted Alex because I've been around a lot of guys that, want to either amateur fight or have dreams of going pro or something like that. And kickboxing is pretty hard because UFC or MMA really takes over everything. So, but a lot of attitudes, and a lot of fighters usually have a reason they're fighting for. If you really talk to them and you get to know them, right, become friends with them. But it was weird with Alex. I really wanted this kind of attitude, snot nosed, kind of unlikable
Yeah.
by design at first. He takes on this fight against his dad's wishes, and this forces this weird relationship where his dad is his corner man, and his dad actually just wants him to not worry about winning the fight, but just surviving the fight. So a lot of this was just kind of, I wanted to make him not likable at the beginning, but make you like him over time. Because I want a growth over this character, right? And I think in the book one that there's these tricks where I really make you like him, and like redeemable things, like him
Hmm.
not killing, not taking a life at the end of book one when he was
Right.
presented the option.
And
And
232 is like getting mad at him, like,
yeah,
come on,
and
get your revenge. What's wrong with you?
yeah, and you find out why more in book two. That's a big issue, but also another point of making him likable and growing with the character was him wanting to tell everybody the truth in book two and not live the lie, of
Yeah.
being the champion. For people who don't know, there's like a whole time jump there in book one and book two, but he's been one of the more interesting characters I've ever written by design. A lot of people don't know, but I did write books at Image and DC Comics, and I mean, a lot of times these characters you get a hold of at mainstream comics, and they've already been developed, and pretty
Yeah.
much everybody's hit every angle
And you
or
have kind of like a
rethought.
set of rules, like he's already been
Yeah.
established to be this or that. Yeah. That's where the indie comics give you the ultimate freedom. You're the creator, create your own comics. You get to develop the story. You get to take it whichever pathway you want. Um,
TC basically points it out. Alex is the young upstart, a bit
yeah.
of a little shit, and he does have like a chip on his shoulder, and he has every reason to. He has a lot of motivation to be bullheaded is the word I was looking for.
Mm,
He's very bullheaded at the beginning, and as it progresses, that's really where we're at, because I've kind of separated Alex and 232 going forward, and where Alex is on his own quest, and what lessons he's going to have to learn and what's pulled out of him. And again, this is metaphorically what I was saying. He's the guy that ends up in a bar fight, that find himself in a war,
right.
and maybe he'll become a war hero. And that's the journey of the character, and I think that makes him really relatable. You have to understand, I'm having to build a character. Spider-Man, at least as far as Spider-Man goes, Peter Parker chose not to stop that crook that got Uncle Ben killed. He
Yep.
wasn't very likable at the beginning. Um, he's riddled with guilt. I think his thing was, why should I get involved when the guy ran away with the cash till? And
I
that's
fail to
kind of the
see why
way.
that's my problem.
Yeah, and I think that's great character building.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of people just want to come into indie comics and say, I'm doing a superhero book and my character is just good, and there are bad guys that are just bad. And then what you end up with is kind of something hollow. Like there's nothing in the center of it. There's
Right.
nothing, no natural motivator that the reader can relate to. Yeah, he's good just because he's good.
Well, the
Yeah,
real
he's
world is so full of, different shades of gray and everything. So, I mean, think about what would any of us do if we were suddenly presented with, excuse me, with such power. We'd like to think we would be the best and do the right thing. But yeah, that kind of like that line from Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. People just, we don't know how we'll act. Would we abuse it? Would we not do anything with it? So it's not just good guy good, bad guy bad. And I think definitely exploring those different moral dilemmas and everything make the characters a lot more interesting and relatable.
Yeah, well, now with all that said, I have left one character And somebody says Arun is evolving heat powers. Yeah, I mean, I want him to look like he's emitting a type of heat, like he's a
Yeah,
furnace, you know?
it does kind of look like he's amping up, like charging up, like maybe he would blast something.
Yeah, yeah. One of the things though, one of the characters I have left really ambiguous and on purpose, and it works great, is Gunn, actually the pilot, the guy with the green type mohawk thing. Is
Yeah.
I really he really just serves as like a type of vessel or muscle of little T. So what's interesting in working on this book is the least I tell people about him, because I actually have avoided that.
Hmm.
Uh, by design. That doesn't mean I don't have a lot developed with him. Is he just kind of comes off as little T's muscle, and people love him. You know that way. He was like the reveal of him coming back at 2. A lot of people responded really well to that, and they
Yeah.
thought that was just a great cliffhanger. And I think if I had, we are working on a book that actually explains his ties with little T, or later down the road.
An
Um,
actual mainline book or a supplemental?
It'll be it's kinda like, again, a prequel type book,
Hmm.
Because 'cause it'll actually take place with Anatomic and when she's fighting in her fighting career,
Who's Anatomic? I know Anatomica.
Anatomic. But, it is a thing, like, that we have developed. It just it in the ties between him and, like, the crime side of Arc City and Little T. Like, I just haven't it's one of those things, like, going back to writing a story Bible, you kinda come up with these things, but I only need to use those things when it services the story, and the story,
Right.
mainly the main book, focuses on Alex and the journey he's on, and can we see him become the savior of Arc City like his brother was, you know? And one of the books, which, let me see if I can show some pages from, if you're cool with that. It's not actually on my campaign. I'm gonna have to grab them here.
Crazy Cat was saying Shane really loves Little T. I can hear it in his voice when he talks about him.
Little T's like, he's interesting. So a big part of Little T is really weird. A
Oh,
big
thank you so much. Is it noxious? Noxious? I'm
what do
sorry.
you?
He just backed. So,
Oh,
yeah, I just want to say thank you.
thank you for that, sir. Let's see
Awesome.
where we're at real quick. 198, 300. Let's see. We're on our way to 200K. Once we hit 200K, everybody gets a new lenticular
Everybody.
card with artwork by me. Wow, we're about 199. Woo! It's gonna be
Woo!
200K tonight, guys. Wake up, let's go. Let me see. I
I'd
have
have to
some
bust out some bourbon or something. I don't know.
maybe. I don't know. We might get a little crazy over here. All right, I'm gonna see if I can share this because you're not in StreamYard. I think it works the same though. It
Okay.
does. Okay, it does.
Yeah, the share button and then
Okay. All right.
yeah.
All right. All right. So, this is some pages from I'm working with
Ooh.
Anthony Gonzalez Clark. Now, this book is actually completely done, and we were debating if we were just going to run this as a type of prequel book on its own, or if I was just going to roll it into this book. And I just rolled it into this campaign because I'm a big firm believer of crowdfunding and everybody interacting with me and making more stretch goals. And the more we back, the more you guys get, and that you guys are a
Yeah.
big part of actually producing the book rather than it already being done. So this is 232 going outside to fight the Vile to save who is the champion who is wounded, and that Snapper. He's lost his arm. So
Oof.
basically, 232 is sent out to kind of team up to fight the Vile to try to bring back their champion.
I
And
love
and
the
what
look of Snapper too. It's just or is that the character with the razor sharp teeth?
Yeah, he's at the end of 2, like, he's part
Yeah.
of the resurrection thing. So, um, you
Creepy
know,
looking. I like him.
Well, and that's what's beautiful with my supplementals is they're not necessary to understand the main book at all. I really want to keep the main story on Alex, but because we've done such an extensive story Bible on the past, with Alex's brother Nate, with anatomic fighting. Um, I'm able to go backwards and a little bit and establish, especially with the resurrection program, some backstory on these Rexes that are in there. And in supplemental Blood, Sweat, and Tears, we're doing the terror story, which is a very important character in Rex in 3 and 4, in the sense that she's the only Rex that evolved to fly. So and it actually disqualified her from Rex fighting because she could just fly out of the ring, right? So little T thought she was really special, pulled her to the side, and she's actually going to become like more of a recon type character in 3 and 4. But with some of these other Rexes, I mean, they all are designed for a purpose. I'm going to use in this story, obviously,
Mhm.
but this story, by Anthony Gonzalez Clark, is all action. It's really cool, but it also sets up why Alex looks up to Nate so much, and why the
Yeah.
citizens of Arc City appreciate him so much, and the shadow that he's in, and the bravery he had, and making the right decision, the hard right, is all in this book. Do you absolutely need it? No, but it's on, like, I think it's like 34-page book or something like that. So
Looks
it
great though, the colors and everything, I love how they pop.
yeah,
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 just everything. I love how 232's, like, breaking through the panel there.
yeah.
Just looks very dynamic and really cool to look at. Love it
We
a lot.
wanted to make it a big, fun, long fight scene.
Let me get
But
the super chat real
yep,
quick
yep.
here, and I'll let you continue. This is $5 from Premier Detractor Android 33. Thank you so much. Shane, are there any Inglorious Rex characters that have received reception from readers in a different way than you expected or intended?
Ron, Alex's dad, a lack
Hmm.
of people responding to the way he acts. So this is a tricky question, but it's a really good question because of the way I've designed the book, right? So in book 1, when they're fighting in cages, right? So Ron is a corner man, but Ron also services as a father grieving over losing his son, but also as a father to his other son going into Rex fighting, which killed his son. So like he's a,
Yeah.
he's not he's a compromised corner man. Like, he's telling Alex not to try to hit, just defend, just come out alive,
Yeah.
right? So he's not coaching him. He actually says, I'm coaching you into living, not winning, you
Well,
know.
and Alex is, I mean, it's kind of a tough spot that Ron's in because Alex, the Rex wasn't made for him,
Yeah. Yeah,
and
yeah,
so
yeah.
I mean, Alex is already at a disadvantage with
So
that. So
in book 2, once Alex is now a champion and there's a secret they're hiding from little T, then his character starts to change a little bit, and now he's just trying to get Alex just to go along with the lie,
yeah,
right? When they go outside the city, a lot of these characters have a dual purpose. Like now he's more of a recon, like a strategist or recon guy, right? Giving data and kind of talking back and forth with Alex,
hmm
like
yeah,
which
you see that
again,
a lot towards the end of book
yeah, yeah,
two,
yeah.
him trying to guide Alex as things
So
are kind of falling apart a little bit in the city.
but every character has always been built by design this way. So a Rex pilot, whether it's Alex, is a prize fighter, but he's also a protector of the city, right?
Yeah,
Little T is a promoter and con man, but he's also a manipulator of the citizens of Arc City and I guess a arms dealer in a way.
hmm.
So, like, every character I've kind of built by design to kinda have a dual purpose, and that's what's great about Inglorious Rex, and what's very unique about it is, some people would have treated this just like one concept, monsters as just fights for money and fame, right?
Right, right.
And then somebody would say, "How about, giant mechs or something that protect the last human city?" And I kind of worked these 2 together and built, like, very believable human characters in compromising situations that you want to follow in the story,
Yeah.
emotionally, that I want you emotionally invested into. It's very ambitious, okay? And I'm the guy that God help
It's
me if
all
I
on you,
paint myself.
Shane. No pressure.
No, but I might be painting myself into a corner eventually that I
Well,
can't land this plane. But it's super ambitious, and I think you guys are going to love it when we get to the ending.
for sure. Let me go ahead. I wanted to give a shout out to Katie Didge's channel. Thank you so much. You are always very, very kind to me. Thank you for gifting a membership. I really appreciate that. And let's go ahead and I'm going to let's go ahead and go over the campaign a little bit. You have
Oh
the
yeah,
page
yeah,
up here. Let me go ahead and switch over to this, where we can go down the different tiers and everything. Is that you or is that me?
yeah.
I think that one's you. Yeah, that one's
No,
you. Yeah.
is it? Oh, it is. Oh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
wow. I didn't
Because
know I could.
I that
Wow.
was from
Okay.
before when you pulled it up. So
Wow!
yes, now that we have this
198, 957. We going
dang.
places. What a shot. We doing it, buddy.
Oh, so
Somebody's
proud.
taking shots tonight, and it's
Mhm.
wooden shot.
Take your shot.
Take your shot, wooden shot. Let's, me and you.
Me and you, buddy. Let's go.
All right. So there are some interesting things in this campaign, but what most people are backing is the 3 book tier. Now we have 2 forms of 3 book tiers. This will get you every new book in this campaign.
Everything.
Everything. You get a beautiful Ethan Van Sciver cover in this, Blood, Sweat, and Tears, drawn by Chris Graves and some others, and the 232 Beast Mode, which I was showing artwork from. Or you can get this one with my cover. It's the same books. It's just now it has the Shane Davis cover.
Yeah.
The Beast box is going to get you all caught up on
Yeah, the
Inglorious Rex.
beast box is a beast in itself. Oh my God, you've packed this thing with like so much goodies.
Oh.
Got your statue. You get this is
So
the
go-
only way to get the line
I don't know
art
if you
version.
can- yeah.
Oh yeah,
so,
let me embiggen you here.
So this is a painted mini from the first box, okay, which some are still up on our website if you want to get it in our shop. So we're offering this again. You only get this mini that you put together, because I have one unbuilt here. It's a gray mini that breaks apart in about 4 or 5 pieces. It comes with an instruction manual. Like here's like the legs. This is 2 pieces put together, right? Painted, unpainted, right? So if you do little miniatures, we have the Razor Mini in this. You can go back to the campaign. We have the Razor Mini in this. There's 3 exclusives that you get in the Beast box, and you only get in the Beast box. One being the Ethan Van Sciver line artwork edition, a lenticular poster, and a Razor Mini. Now, what's great about the Razor Mini, I have to scroll all the way down here. If you got the Beast box in the first campaign, you're
They
all
aren't
set.
painted. Is it
No,
Inzy guy or
they're
Inzum
not
guy?
painted. They're not
Yeah.
painted. You have to paint them. They're just like Warhammer figures.
Right.
That
But
type
it's part of
thing.
the fun, you know, you can put your own spin on it.
So these were designed at the same time to look like a double KO, where she's kicking him to the head and he's punching her like to the head. So
Epic.
they are supposed to like line up together. This is her figure that comes in the box. This is what it'll look like once you put it together. How many pieces it blows up into with the tentacles and stuff? It's quite a bit. I've shown it before on Twitter. I don't have it right here. The bolts are optional. The kinetic attack you can put on or not. That's up to you. But so you get that mini. That's exclusive. The line artwork edition of EBS's cover is exclusive to this box, and you'll probably be able to sell it on eBay and basically pay for the box on its own. And the lenticular poster, we did this before. We're known for doing lenticulars. At 200K, everybody's getting a new trading card by me that's lenticular.
Yeah.
So those are the 3 exclusives. But you also get a Master Racer in this box that will be autographed.
And
so the
that's
Master
awesome.
Racer,
This is a new thing to CG, which is
Yeah.
pretty badass. It started with Ethan, and he has the Cyber Frog car, the one that Cody Dennison was racing in. And then he, I guess, opened the door for other CG creators to come in. And part of the CG Master Racers line, a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek joke there, but come on, have some humor. Like,
Have
lighten up,
some
everybody.
humor.
But this
See
is pretty
somebody laugh.
Number 232.
Yeah, that is the number of our car, 232. I know Eric Weathers is doing one. Also, Ethan's got a few he's doing.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think. There's somebody else. I think Cecil's doing one. Now, this is the design of the car, but, just so you know, like we have to, this thing's not going to print all that big, right? So I'm going to share. Let me see if I can share my I don't want to share. At the end of this, I'll share back what the actual printing of the car is going to look like.
Nice. And these are the size of like your typical Matchbox kind of cars.
They're a little bit bigger, and we didn't know this at first until like Ethan got the samples. But these are spring loaded, I guess, where you can pull them back and they click and they turn loose and they go.
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah,
nice.
yeah. So that they're not just a normal Hot Wheel, and he says they're a little bit bigger than normal Hot Wheels. I've only seen pictures of him with those samples he got. I haven't held one or anything yet, but they look pretty decent quality, and the print job is we're really trying to get these things to look pretty boss and get the color codes right and all of that. So this is the mock-up of the design. But, because of my artwork, this will probably be the smallest my artwork's ever shrank down.
Micro.
So you have to kind of simplify it a little bit, and I'll pull that up here in a second. So this is my cover for the main book, and then this is example of what the interior pages look like. We do have a few of these left. This is it's instead of me just doing a sketch, I offer these they're called remarks. It's basically when I sketch on
I
the
was
cover.
surprised when I saw this. I was like, "Oh, that's different." You don't see people do the sketches on the actual cover, so I thought that was unique.
Oddly enough, a lot of people do that at cons. They ask how much a remark is. J. Scott Campbell or people will offer them sometimes, but they normally don't look like this.
Right.
Like I kind of go in and I do like I get these whiteout type brush markers and I kind of paint down the base coat to draw on. So this is a photo of an actual one from the previous campaign that went to a backer. So this was on the 24-hour cover. I think we offer it, but it's it's in one of these tiers, but it's only going to be on my main cover because I don't think I can draw on the foil. Like, I don't think it'll absorb the ink, so it has to be on my main cover. So we did have
the foil one is Ethan's, right?
Ethan's,
With the
right,
little T.
and our 24-hour cover is foil.
The red
so if you
rocket?
lucked out and got the 24-hour cover, it's going to be foil also and embossed. So like the shine here, we'll probably this is all subject to change, but this is what we're right now for sure going to have her thighs and his hands embossed, but I may do her hand and her back and hair and the cigar smoke. I may just lift that whole thing.
Ooh.
Or I might just keep it there. I don't know. Like it's subject to change though, but we're definitely doing her butt and all that.
And all of its
On the
glory.
24-hour cover, I'm pretty sure this is what 100% where we'll be at. It'll just be the anatomic, this is the
Is
red
this
rocket
from doing
cover.
lots of squats, or did she have a Brazilian butt lift there?
Lots of squats. A lot of people like to call her ass atomic, and yes, I draw this character's ass on purpose. Every time I've ever drawn this character, I've drawn her butt on purpose. It's not a own, guys, if I'm doing it on purpose. You understand that? That's one
It
of the
looks like
things.
you could bounce a quarter off of it. You know what I mean?
But that's one of the things is like people are like, you can't get women to show their boobs and their butt at the same time. And I'm like, yeah, Heidi McDonald would say that. And I'm like, you can't. You can't, but that doesn't mean other women can't, Heidi. I hate to tell you, Heidi, but a normal woman with an average physique can do that. So anatomic is kind of like my little LFU to people that say you can't over-sexualize women, that Captain
But
Marvel's
where are her
boobs.
organs, Shane? Where
I don't.
even are her
Yeah.
organs?
The only thing I don't care about her organs. I just care about rearranging them. Yeah.
Damn. Oh goodness.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, This was a 24-hour cover, and what we like to do on the 24-hour cover sometimes is we'll drop it for a random hour. If you see it dropped and you want to pick it up, and you've already ordered, don't worry about it because you're able, if you're already logged into Nine Lives Comics, you're actually able to pick up and add to your already existing order. We have an add-on section once you're logged in. If it's there and you're there during the drop and you've already ordered, you want to pick it up, you're able just to go add it on, and it's just like you bought it when you originally checked out. You'll get a discounted shipping. That's something that Yanti, I was talking about before when we got off subject. So we're actually short a lot of shipping money on this campaign. People are like, "You're not doing as good as the last one." It's like, nah, we're actually probably doing better. But we with the add-on thing that we do,
I see
people
what you're saying.
yeah, people are not spending as much in shipping when they decide to add on to or buy something new in the already existing campaign. I'm offering basically a way for them to, because at Indiegogo, they just have to either refund their order and redo the order or just make a completely new order with a full shipping, right? So the way we do it, it actually it actually saves people some money, but we lose some money in shipping. So it's something we wanted to do on our website though, for backers, especially if they want to come back around. So
Yeah.
and then we got 232 Beast Mode. You can order it on your own or as an add-on to the already book. I highly suggest it. You don't have to get anything here, but I do suggest you
I
pick up 232 Beast.
get all of the supplemental and additional books, guys. I'm telling you. I read the mainline books and I didn't pick up the supplementals before, and I can tell you it was a mistake because I had to go back and try to hunt down the supplementals, and when I did, it does fill in a lot of those the gaps for you, and it just kind of makes the world of Inglorious Rex,
Yeah.
feel a lot more alive and interesting. So yeah, it's not just Anatomic and Lil T and Braun and Alex and everybody. There's like whole other supporting cast out there that have kind of like their interesting stories too. So don't be a dummy like I was. Get those supplementals for real.
So terror here, which is a pun on pterodactyl for people that know the history of that, is a pretty big player in the book going forward. Like she again is the Rex I said that evolved to the point of being disqualified because she can fly, right?
Yeah.
So her whole thing is fight or flight. That's her whole thing. And obviously here you can see she's fighting Razor and Anatomic that doesn't have the tentacles. So she has a bit of a backstory, right? She has a bit of a backstory with Razor, and that's where we're going into book 3. If you guys have read book 1 and 2, is a lot of these Rexes that are being sent out to help, all have grudges. A lot of them.
Yeah.
They
In
ended
the
up in a
fighting world, I can see
resurrection
that.
program. They ended up in a resurrection program for some reason, right?
Mhm.
Either somebody's killed them or they were disqualified. So a lot of these guys, and that's where the stakes are only getting higher in this book.
Do the
You know,
memories haunt the resurrected Rexes? Like if they were killed?
well, the pilots are all alive, so all the
Okay.
pilots have a grudge, right? Like, if you'll notice and it's not a big spoiler, but at the end of book 2, you see Mace, but Mace is in a wheelchair. Mace is in
Yeah.
a wheelchair from fighting Gun, and and I make reference to that in book 1. With Ron says something to Alex about that. So like they all kind of, they have their reasons, they have their reasons and grudges and they're there to help, but that doesn't mean they're not there for revenge also if they get the opportunity. So it's gonna book 3 and 4, and look, I'm selling book 3, but the idea that this story can even wrap up in 3 is not gonna happen. This is for people who have read 2, you can see there is a big, big, big scope and a big threat that I'm dealing with, and or the readers are going to be the pilots and stuff. The characters. Everything's kind of opened up on this book, and it's really epic. It's really big. In scale.
Here's a big question. All
Yeah.
right, so we kind of have a bird type of Rexes. You have Razor that kind of has that beak a little bit
Hmm.
and almost kind of feathery, and then you have I'm sorry, what was this one? kind of
Terror.
yeah, like the pterodactyl one, but almost a little bit of a rhino kind of horn thing going on there. Are we ever going to see an owl inspired Rex?
Yeah, we have this character, completely legally unrelated, called Woden shit. And Woden shit is going to be a flightless Rex that looks a little like an owl, legally not an owl though.
Birthed from
And
an owl pellet.
it'll probably be a stretch goal. And
It
I don't know if
says it
he'll
all.
make it out alive. I mean, it really depends on more of how that guy acts. An owl foil cover.
I'd
Yeah,
buy
I
that for
don't think
$1.
he's cover material. I don't think he's getting the spotlight. But I don't know. It would be fun to see an owl get his beak kicked in, you know.
Hey Anna, thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate it. She's come by for moral support for you there, Shane.
Look, he goes, Shane, this trolling is going to backfire on you so bad. You just wait. That's your situation. Wooden shot. Do you not see how it's backfiring on you already? But this is supplemental. One of the supplemental stories. I like to pack 2 or 3 in there. So this is one of them that's done by Chris Graves, who has a campaign launching this Friday night on Ballers, Wrath and Pain 2. Sign-ups out there if mods want to put that out there. Yeah, this again, completely done by him. At least the story.
Yeah,
His
Ride and
artwork
Pain is
done,
awesome.
yeah.
So yeah, definitely pick up this story for sure. Let me get these 2 super chats real quick here. First one from Dekar for $5. Thank you so much. I gave my Inglorious Rex comics to my dad. He's 75 and he loved them. Awesome. Your dad has good taste. Our question is Inglorious Rex event set on Earth? You never seem to mention it as far as I know. Love you, Shane.
I want to talk about this. A big inspiration for me in Inglorious Rex, and again, this has to do with the accents and the dialect of some of the characters, is Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy VII, I always liked how, like, you had people like Sid and different characters. You really didn't understand if it was Earth or not, but, you know, it resembles Earth, and you just kind of go from there. Now, obviously, this is sort of Earth, but again, this is like one of those world building things where I'm not so sure it's important to the actual character story.
Right.
Where they're at.
Think of it this way. There are more stars out there than grains of sand on Earth. And each of those stars could have planets. So in all probability, there could be something that's very Earth-like out there. And perhaps the world of Inglorious Rex exists in one of those types of solar systems.
Yeah, I mean, I had another book where I had like kind of like a extend where I had like a what I would call like a type of Watchmen effect, like where it's like it's based in our reality, but there's a direct shift or change in like the way the government and things, like it's an alternate reality type. And which, by the way, those books have shipped from the factory, but because of the storm and some of the interstates, I'm not sure when they're getting here. By the way,
Oh, I was going to ask you about that.
We'll talk about that in a minute. I just remembered to bring that up. But the problem I found myself in Extend is as I made up my own alternate reality on our government with the way it handles nukes and stuff. It kind of, even though it's separated, any type of world event that comes up that has to do, like, say, North Korea, kind of brings up, like, and I just didn't like it. I didn't like that aspect of it, right?
Yeah.
So with this, because the nukes are a big point in Extend. With this, I really was like, I just don't want to deal with any world politics in this book.
I don't blame you. Politics are never fun.
That was my goal. I just wanted an action adventure comic. I liked that. You know, I always liked the idea of the Hulk fighting Rhino or the Hulk versus Thing. But I also wanted a very human story also with something that you could really invest yourself into through Alex. And characters like Little T and Anatomic and stuff like that. Which again, she's a fan favorite character too, which is his ex-girlfriend that now they're opponents. You know,
A little bit of tension.
a little bit of sexual tension.
Sexual.
Sexual. Sexual attention.
All right, so for new readers, though, I want to point this out. We do have a collected edition. If you're new and you want to wait to read Inglorious Rex, you can get this $30 copy of 1 and 2 on lower paper stock. It will ship with the campaign, but if you want them shipped out tomorrow, old copies of 1 and 2, we do have, if you go shop Inglorious Rex, we ship out daily. We do have some con covers that are $25. Some like you can get for $50 or 60. I'm sorry, 60. You can get volume 2, supplemental and main book. A lot of buying options here that you could start reading Inglorious Rex as soon as it gets to you in the mail. While you're waiting on 3.
Right. Let me get this super chat real quick from Katie Did. Always an angel. $2 from Katie Did's channel. Just backed again. Hail Shane. And I can't quite make out what the symbol's supposed to be on my end. But
I think it's a heart.
A heart.
She's doing
Heart you too.
Yeah,
thank you, Katie.
Thank you, Katie Did, for the support.
She is always so kind.
Yeah, so kind. No, she's been great. Everybody should go sub to her channel. She's been clipping some really interesting stuff. That has to do with, whether people know it or not, has to do with a lot of crowdfunding issues.
Yeah. And she digs through the dirt so we don't have to, you know. So just
you don't want to be bothered with no 4-hour live stream.
Yeah, I don't know that, but
she'll catch you up in under 3 minutes.
I can't watch that stuff. I would get a brain aneurysm very quickly.
Yep. So and this is the great thing about this campaign is we haven't totaled it up, but there are
let's go back. Let's hit refresh.
No, there are hang on. There are tons of funds that aren't added to the campaign that we ship out these products every day.
Every day.
Like people are backing books. Yep. You got it from the site.
I did.
So and it's great because people are able to read Inglorious Rex and decide if they want to buy 3. But the problem with this is, which is a problem, is there's tons of funds that are not added in this campaign because it's my product from over there. We are barking at the door. We are at $1.99.
It's so close. I always wanted to stay till it hits 200. Swear, if it gets 200, I'm definitely gonna have to take a drink. Very exciting. Thank you,
Katie. I'm gonna shout out some backers real quick.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, just remember, only do the first names.
No, I'm doxing Wooden Shot.
His names could be like Peter Smith.
Yeah. It's got to be gay. Whatever his name is, I know it's gay. It's like gay, Wooden Shot.
Eugene, Eustace, like a name like Eustace or something.
Eustace, Esther Pleasant. Esther Pleasant.
Yeah. Lester the Molester. We got some beautiful new backers here. We got somebody coming in picking up a lot of stuff. Like, thank you. Wow, Daniel, $235 backing. That is absolutely crazy, sir. He picked up the 9 Lives Comics catch-up pack too, which is great. We have Albie, I think, for another $235. Thank you for that. A lot of 9 Lives comic sites, by the way. Wesley for 50. I think he added on to his already existing order. He's like, I got to get that 232 beast mode, and I got to go get that supplemental. So he was able just to go back in and add to his already existing order. That's great. Nice.
Somebody else, it looks like maybe they did the same thing here. They went and got the new Kenneth, got the new Shane Davis 30-day cover. Thank you for that. And then I got an order here starred. So that means some of these items are going to ship out tomorrow. We got a new reader coming in for volume 1 and volume 2, and Beanie, and that's Kate. So thank you for that.
Awesome. Very nice. Yeah, I want to see. Can you show some of the swag again? Like, I love the hats that you have as options this
Yeah.
time.
Okay, so a lot of people have been complaining about the price of the hats on our site. Okay, now the merch is very important. The way to do this order, because you could buy all the hats, all of the t-shirt. You could buy t-shirts for all the Ethiopians. What if when we shoot a commercial, a food drive for the Ethiopians and flies are crawling on their face, wouldn't it be
Hmm.
better if they had a Nine Lives comic t-shirt on?
Maybe they can eat the T-shirt.
Uh, it, they can't. I mean, they can eat it. They just can't digest it. But I'm saying that is prime time real estate. I mean, turn those swollen pot-bellied kids into billboards, right?
Yeah, might
Why
as
not
well.
feed them and advertise at the same time? So let's say you wanted to clothe Ethiopians in Nine Lives comics gear. It's great. You all you gotta do is buy one hat and then add on like 250 t-shirts, and you
Mm,
pay
mhm.
one shipping fee.
Yeah, and you've you've supported. You could back one Ethiopian child, maybe
Right,
two Somalian children. Show the love.
right.
Make it a better place.
So
Uh,
we have this Tiger Nine Lives Comics hat with,
that's what
believe it
I
or not,
got. I'm waiting for that one.
and then we have the trucker cap, and then we have this. Now these were voted on by fans, so these are fan picks. And then we have these two beanies. So you can go up and we have this Inglorious Rex T-shirt, and we have the Nine Lives Comics T-shirt. Now the Nine Lives Comics T-shirt is already on our store, and it can ship out tomorrow. The other stuff will go into production first before the books, and what we usually do is we do our merch fulfillment somewhere in the middle of the campaign, or in the middle of making the book, at least in the middle of making the book. So that stuff comes down first. So if you are wanting that, definitely go over there, pick that stuff up, and pick it up at the price here. This is the cheapest you're going to get it. We do not overproduce this stuff
Yeah,
usually. So if you see a hat on our shop, you're like,
get
God,
it.
Shane, that's like $80, $60, just because we only have like 2 or 3 of them. That's it.
Yeah, you're
The
not
backers.
producing like, a million of them, so it costs you a
Oh,
little bit more than like $1 per hat to make them.
yeah, no, the hats are expensive and there's really not much profit on them. We just do
Yeah.
them because fans want them. And a lot of times we'll put them up and run a poll on which hat people want. So a lot of these backers have already went on Twitter and said, I want this hat with that bill, or this, we picked this one. Like maybe I had like 5 baseball caps and they picked these 3. So, and within what we could do with our designer. So like,
I'm totally gonna rock the main shirt with the tiger hat. And
yeah,
yeah, I'm gonna
a
have
lot of
to go
people
to another convention that you're at sometime here.
a lot of people asking for a mange comic, and it's something I'm trying to figure out how to do in 2025.
Do it. So yeah, lots of different options and everything. I love the quality of your the books is great, but the quality of the merchandise is really nice. So
Yeah,
I've
the
watched
sta-
it several times. The little, I guess, what do you call it, like the silk screen thing on it, uh, still looks brand new. So
yeah. We try to well, a lot of our shirts are done by St. Clair's. So we and they work for companies like Coca-Cola and stuff. Like we really try to keep a high quality when it comes to our merch. And we try to sell it at a reasonable price. I mean, we have hats, I think, for $25 and stuff like that. I mean, we're not mass producing any of this stuff, right? $30, 35, 25 for this one cap. So certain caps, they just cost more than others depending on the material or the design. We go through, and I try to keep them at what I mean. Again, our profits are they these things are not cheap to make, guys. So
yeah,
we basically just offer them for the fans that want them. We're not really a merch company. We're a comic book publisher, but a lot of people come up to us at cons wearing our hats and our t-shirts,
yeah.
and
We
it's
want to
great.
we want to rep your stuff. We're proud consumers of your stuff.
Yeah.
Uh, Wooden shot. color me I can't even pronounce it. You pronounce it. I can't speak mange.
Skeptical.
Good Lord. Oh my goodness.
Also, somebody mentioned Starlight Cats. So Starlight
Yes.
Cats is an all ages book that you can find in the add-on section here, or it ships out next day tomorrow if you go to our shop. It's our all ages book, Little Girl, Big Adventure, Cats in Space. We do have a $25 copy here with Kelsey Shannon's artwork.
May he
John
rest in
Malin cover
peace.
here, original one. A lot of people love this book.
Yeah. A lot of people were surprised by it too. Just thinking it was going to be like
Yeah.
a little kiddie thing, but it's just like with Inglorious Rex, there's a lot more to the story and a lot more depth to Starlight Cats.
So yeah, Starlight Cats is so weird. Like, so it was our first campaign, and I came to Comics Gate, and I'm like, buy my Little Girl and Cats space book. you know. And
I admit I was skeptical. I was like, really?
Yeah. And then people turned out to love it. Now, and then everybody wanted it. Everybody wanted one wooden shot. Everybody wanted a gay cat book, and they couldn't buy it. So what happened, and a lot of people don't know this, Abra. I want you to know this. I want you and your select audience, the cream of the crop in your chat. I'm going to tell you guys a secret. They're like, Shane, no matter what you do, boy, you're never going to do what Inglorious Rex 1 did. Now, Inglorious Rex raised $303,000. Inglorious Rex 2, Second Chance and Everything, raised $316,000. Okay? We are on our way at our 60-day closeout here. If we can pass $203,000, we will have beat Inglorious Rex 2. Like, now we're already ahead, right? We're already ahead. Now, to getting there where we were on the day before. Okay, so it's everybody, let's go.
We can come together.
No, but here's it. Let's come together. Yandi's been asking for that forever. I just ain't fucking doing it. But the here's the trick with Inglorious Rex 1. First day we sold 500 copies of Starlight Cats in that campaign. We actually never sold $303,000 worth of Inglorious Rex. By the time that campaign closed down, we had sold 870 some copies, I think, of Starlight Cats, close to 900 copies of Starlight Cats, because it was the only place anybody could buy Starlight Cats.
Right.
So, Inglorious Rex, I mean, guys, I hate to tell everybody, Inglorious Rex #1, if I subtracted Starlight Cats, was never a $303,000 campaign. It was a $303,000 campaign, but not all Inglorious Rex.
Dang.
A lot of people don't know that. Your audience
I think
now
it
knows.
just shows that there's like, a missing, an untapped avenue
Kitty
there
market.
a kitty market, yes, but we need more all ages comics out there.
Yeah,
You gotta hook them, Shane. You gotta hook them when they're young.
I
Get 'em
know. I
in.
wish more people, and that's one of the things that not a lot of people in Comicsgate are doing. You can't just be me doing it. Like, I can't be the guy that I stopped making Inglorious Rex to do an all ages book. I mean, I'll try to do it, but I mean, I can only do so much.
When
some
you're
other people do
writing
need
the
to do all ages
story,
book.
do you tap Yanzi for inspiration? Like, do you guys kind of bounce ideas off each other?
So part of the thing I'm not happy with the last third is her idea that just doesn't flow with the story on Starlight Cats 2 script. So we'll end up back and forth on things, and we'll kind of come to an agreement. She looks at things through a different scope than me, and that's what's great. But we'll kind of cook up a story, and then even in dialogue stage, we'll go back and forth, and we'll have our editors also and proofreaders involved in that part, and we'll go back and forth a couple of times. I would say a lot of the dialogue is me, and a lot of the story structure is me. It's kind of really hard to pinpoint where she's at, because I'm all about the big reveals and the page turns and the twist. But she's also like, for example, she's a big part of Anatomic, like in writing that character. So, she kind of came up with the name Anatomic. That wasn't me, and what the name meant. Trying to think. She had a lot to do with the story on Anatomic's origin story. A lot of that was Yanzi, and she had a lot. She had a lot to do with the Signal story and supplemental too.
Yeah.
When that mission story, she had a lot to do with that. So it's weird. It's definitely a collaborative writing, for sure. A lot of the concepts though is me. It, it's it's really hard to pinpoint exactly what one of us does because we're so involved in it.
Well, it's good to kind of have someone to rein you in if an idea gets a little too crazy. Sounds like life now, says this New Zealand guy or NZ guy.
Somebody Shane's idea. What if they become roadkill and they become giant kaiju fighters? Yeah, they recycle the Rexes. And that's another thing too. Like ideas I've never really got to fully put in a book is like feeding the dead Rexes to the other Rexes. I mean, and now that's something I rarely ever bring up, right? Why are they genetically making these giant kaijus, right? Like why don't they use giant robots? Because robots don't heal, they don't evolve, they don't get stronger. You have to rebuild them if an arm breaks, it can't heal. They just have to rebuild a new arm. And I was like, life is cheaper, life is cheaper.
Like the grunts or something in a
Right.
war.
Yeah. So that's what got me into the whole concept of the whole Rex thing is like, wouldn't it be more practical if you would just make genetic monsters you could control rather than robots?
Let's hit that refresh real quick.
And it's been fun. I mean, I will say I don't think if I ever just had to sit down and turn a script in at DC or Marvel Comics, this book wouldn't exist. Let's go! Woo! Look at that! Less than $900 to $200K. We can do it tonight, boys and girls.
It's creeping up.
But that's why I don't know if I'll ever be able to produce a book like this again. Is because I was able to think about this for from around 2010, onward.
Well,
I
don't
was
say
able
that.
just
I mean, when you're in the shower or on the toilet, just have a pad there that you can just jot stuff down. And
well, what I used to do is I had a pen on me and then I would write it down on the toilet paper. And then I lost my notes.
Gee, I wonder how.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
They're like,
Yeah.
Abra's gonna get us over 200K. Give Shane that money.
Anna looked so radiant the other day. She's so beautiful.
Oh, she's got that
glow, the baby glow. Yeah.
Yeah. What they don't tell you is, you're gonna look like once you have that baby, you're gonna look like a burned out light bulb. Like that's
Oh,
it.
come on.
Yeah, I mean that
Don't
glow.
say that.
Let it soak in ride that scooter while you can, Anna.
And Yanzi got back into nice prime form there. Anna will be just
Did
fine.
she though? Did she? No, she did. She did.
Let's go ahead and do the trailer one more time.
Oh, okay. So this trailer on mine is going to be the animated feature I did, which I storyboarded, by the way. So there's
do that and then big in it.
I did. I storyboard. Yeah, I did. I don't know if I shared audio. Does audio automatically share?
No.
All right. Let me stop.
While you're fixing that, I'm going to read this super chat real quick here. From Travis Perrick, $5. Thank you so much. Look, Shade, I'll be saving some more coin. I'm going to demand a backer shout out in the near future. So you got to
Yeah.
give him a shout out.
Shout out Travis Perek. This guy, big supporter. Thank you guys. Seriously, Travis has been great. He's backed a couple of times throughout this campaign, and people like that really help make Nine Lives Comics possible. Everything we do, you know, the more funds we're able to raise, the more talent we're able to hire for these supplementals and stuff like that, and we're putting people to work. And you know, like Chris Graves, we were able to pull him over here and get a little work from him as he's getting ready to do his own book. So it actually helps the community. The more you support some of these campaigns, we start taking that money and we put to work, especially if it's off our website. We get that money like in 2 days.
Yeah,
We're able to
and
put that to work, you know?
they're not taking Indiegogo isn't taking their pound of flesh there too,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
is
there's
nice.
that. And they're not, you know, nobody's holding our funds from us for months or whatever.
TC says, back once, back often.
If you can,
Yeah.
we appreciate it. We absolutely appreciate it for sure.
Ooh, Shane's been looking at some naughty pictures.
What? No.
No.
That's that whatever. You never watch that show where they have the Gorlock curl came from that podcast.
Oh yeah. Oh, I don't know. I kind of liked the Gorlock lady.
I do, but that's the show whatever. That's
gotcha.
literally that's what their thumbnails look like. They're kind of clickbait thumbnails.
Hey, you got to do what you have to do.
You have to, right?
All right.
Boom.
Wow, that was nice. Who did the animated trailer for you?
Believe it or not, it's weird. It's like a friend I knew from like going back to maybe 2015, 2016. He wants to be nameless. He agrees with a lot of our politics and stuff, but he works with like a lot of big YouTubers. I'm talking like he's actually done stuff with people like I'm talking millions and millions of subs, but he also works with he has a bit of an animation background and works with some overseas animators that do stuff for like Sony and stuff. So he wanted to do something with me, but because we're friends, he really came up with a very, very, very little money to do it. I don't even, it's embarrassingly low, like what I paid for that. And I'm not supposed to tell anybody, but I storyboarded it.
It's
And
awesome.
I wanted something simple that anybody that's just new sees and they kind of know like, okay, this is, you know,
We
the
figured it
scale of
out,
it, the
Shane. We
scale of
figured
it.
it out.
Yeah, I saw what they were doing and I was like, you put a little bit of talent behind that, you get something
Talent.
out of it.
I
You
love the
put a-
part when 232's just kind of prying open the the
Yeah.
doors there.
You know, there was like a illustrated Bible I had as a kid, and there was this, I can't even remember exactly. I just remember there was this drawing of this guy kind of pushing two pillars aside. And I was like, that
Huh.
was so powerful to me.
Like Hercules or something like that.
It was something, but this was a Bible story. That's what confuses me.
Oh, what's his name? That cut his hair?
Samson?
Samson, yeah.
Was it Samson? So that image, I was like, there's something just so powerful about just prying open this door. So when I storyboarded it, it's like the doors start to open, but 232 is too impatient that he's just ripping them open,
Mhm.
right? Or he's just pulling them aside. Like he can't be bothered to wait for the doors to open, you know? And it's very simple, but I also just wanted the scale of it to just kind of have an impact. And I wanted to really use that center composition. So there's shots that are similar to what I've done in the book. And by design, you know, I wanted it that way. So I wanted it to feel familiar to people that back the book, but something that anybody new that just comes across it can kind of like, oh, I get it. The giant
Right.
monsters, a little, yeah, cool tech suits.
Anyway, yeah, when you see Alex coming out and with the, I guess the
The
tethers there,
the lace system, right? So
lace,
again,
yeah.
that's a double entendre type situation where the lace suit literally looks like laces and these glowing beams on their suits, but it actually is lacing their neural system,
Hmm.
which again is kind of like a DNA strand. So it's like boxing laces or laces to lace up your gloves, but the DNA. See, there's a lot of this that goes in there. It's like a real deep level wooden shot. I'm on another level wooden shot.
Another
Woo!
level.
Let's go.
Woo! Oh my goodness gracious.
God.
Yeah, Samson. Yeah, they're saying if we don't hit 200,000, we suck. We
No, I mean, we've done good on here tonight. I think we came on at like 198, so we've already gained $1,000 on this stream.
That is awesome. Like the audience is just great. The fans, the readers are just all so kind and supportive, and I just love seeing new backers and everything on the campaigns.
And one of the things I really want to point out, and for people who have read it, you guys know this already, but 232 isn't just like a clone. I mean, I did specifically. I worked on a clone story when I worked in Mysteries in Space, and I read the Spider-Man clone saga when I was a kid. And clone stories always bother me because the minute a character is called a clone, you kind of disregard them, right?
Mm,
Like they don't matter. They're just they're hollow, right? It's just
right.
it's a clone. So I did this whole rant about clones before, and that became the clone Shane Davis, the clone Wooden Shot. All that came from that years ago. But when I did this, I really wanted 232 to have something very unique and special, and I wanted to give him a personality. And even in that trailer and in the book, I make sure that he is kind of his own character, albeit very basic instincts, very basic, but I do give him a personality and, something about him.
Crazy Cat says, "Quick, Abra, put something salacious in the title as clickbait." I knew I should have done Anatomic's Red Rocket for
Yeah,
for the
foil.
thumbnail.
Yeah, I drew that cover twice because the first attempt at it was almost like a toilet seat angle. And yes, rest in peace, clone Shane Davis. That is true. One of them's gone.
Yeah, the third one, right? Or
Well, there was clone Shania Davis, which was a female version of me, which made a lot of people feel awkward to look at me as like a hot piece. It just kind of. I think they got rid of that clone right away.
That's
But
a damn shame.
I was too ambitious with this camera angle. I really moved the camera really further behind. I don't know what I'm going to do in the future with these because like I can't just keep thinking of how to get the camera down there.
You
I'm not
keep
like a
upping the
pornography
ante.
director.
You're upping the ante. I mean, it's a lot of pressure to put on yourself. But,
Yeah.
and you finally did the Red Rocket. Which one? Who was it from the chat?
Treble.
That's right, Trebles 08. He always wanted the Red Rocket.
Yeah.
Well, you were kind to Trebles. I really appreciate it.
I had peace for about 6 weeks with him. I got 6 weeks of peace from Troubles, and then it came back. He came back with a fury. It's
The
not
Apex
as much
Comics
a-
gets it. Anatomica. Well, Acetomica. but-
Acetomica.
Yeah, Tomica. See?
Her name, I say it in the supplemental, but she names her fight name is Anatomic because she's dropping bombs in the ring. That's what she says, but it's really that ass. Dropping that ass. But this has been great. Thank you for having me on. 200K is on the horizon. I see it on the horizon, guys. I can see
It is.
the light.
It is right there. The light in the tunnel. The light at the end of the tunnel. It's there.
And if we can hit it, everybody is getting. Everybody. Oh, I added new stretch goals, by the way. Let me pull down here.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Let's
And by the
send that out.
way, the stretch goals go to everybody. So if you look at Indiegogo, you're like, you only raised 40,000 there. You guys, if you back us on Indiegogo, you're getting all the stretch goals that we unlock. Every book backer. So
It's a win for everybody.
Yeah, everybody. Every book backer gets a lenticular card for 200. That's what we're looking at now. 210. Every book backer gets a King Vile trading card, which is going to be super cool. 220 if we can hit it, a new Mange Davis trading card.
Yes.
And this is the big one. If we can hit 230, we're going to do the fist logo, Inglorious Rex. The fist with the cage and the claws, the symbol of the Rex pilots. We're going to do a patch. So this will be the first patch we've done at Nine Lives Comics, but we're really looking in. It's going to be a fairly big size patch too, so it'd be really cool. Like, say if I had that patch and I put it on my Adidas jacket, it'll be like red and white, and it'll.
I'm gonna have to get a jean jacket vest, like really redneck looking, and put it on that. That'll be perfect.
And this is why I love crowdfunding so much, and I really want everybody to know. Like, I came to Comicsgate. And I said, I got this gay cat book.
Meow.
If you guys believe in this, and the more you believe in it, the more stuff I'll give you, right? And that is a beautiful thing about crowdfunding, is the more we make, the more we can, we're able to give you. Like, the lenticular cards are pretty expensive to make. They're super expensive.
Yeah. So you just give them back to everybody. It's
I
like
want you guys to
life.
get more. Oh, yeah. And Marvel and DC aren't giving you trading cards, and they're sure as shit not going to do lenticular trading cards, and they're actually downgrading in paper than upgrading in paper, and they're not signing books for you either. So we do sign with signatures. I think we've unlocked those a long time ago. If you guys don't want your items signed, by the way, all you got to do is leave us a note in your order, or contact us with your order number. We'll make sure to make a note not to sign your order. So. There are people who are like, you shouldn't sign my books, Davis. I'm like, all you got to do is tell us.
What?
There are some people, but see, I don't do a lot of cons. Even now that I'm going back to them, I think tops, I might do 2 a year. I don't really see myself going back to like 6 cons a year or something like I used to do. So this is a way a lot of people get a signed book by me. They don't have to go to a convention. They don't have to pay the price to go into a convention, and it just works out for everybody.
Yeah. For sure. And I'm kind of getting the hint a little bit. Do you have, I guess, another stream? Are you going to go do a stream, or where can people continue to stalk you after this stream?
I'm going to probably, if nobody else is streaming, I'll fire up a stream shortly after this. I'm going to eat and stuff, but I'll do a stream tonight for sure. We got a new backer that came in. I want to shout out. They bought like a couple of the new covers by me. Thank you, Michael. So, look, guys, very much appreciated. They backed up my villains cover, which is a great cover. And I really love Rune 2.0. Like, he's going to be a menace. He's fun to draw also. And you guys haven't even seen some of the other Rexes, their new models that we're coming up with, like Mace. Like, literally, Mace is going to be super cool, too. He was in the original supplemental. He's going to have one fist that's mutated, like, and it looks like a mace with spikes sticking out of it. Like, I get I definitely want the resurrected Rexes to kind of look like, Yanti's so great with the names, by the way. She's like, oh, this program is going to be called Resurrection. I'm like, I'm like, wow. Wish I thought of that.
And English isn't even her first language, and she's just...
I know, and I'm butchering it every day. I mean, like, fuck.
Oh, well, we still know you're the real deal. So
the real deal.
We love you.
And
John said he's going to drag you over 200,000, so that coach is going to be there. And I need to reach out to you, John, if you're still there. I'd love to talk about Godlike and Godlike 2. So I know it's kind of hard to reach out to you on Twitter X, but I'll try to hit you up again, and maybe you'll see my tweet.
Get in here, John. Make some of this Abra money. Woo!
Woo! Yeah, I know you got to go eat and everything. So
Come on, John. The money's good in here. Let's go.
having a party. Everyone's invited.
Oh, look. Here's some stretch goals from the last. This is the fist we want to do as a patch. We did a sticker before, but now we want to do a patch. So, dude,
Ooh.
this is going to look cool. If I had this on this coat, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they'll
Look
think
like
we're
a
part of
sort of-
BLM. Yes.
9 lives matter.
9 lives do matter.
So, look, this isn't not. Don't do that to me. So it's a fist inside the cage, and then there's monster claws coming out. It represents the pilot. It represents the cage. It represents the beast. Don't make it into Black Lives Matter. They ripped me off.
Kitty lives matter.
Wow! All right. Thanks for having me on. You guys have been super swell. Rarely ever. I want to shout out Abra for a second.
Oh.
And I'm going to go as far to say Katie did also, because I know she's doing it and she's in the chat. But guys, it means so much. It means so much to every creator. It means so much to every creator that comes along and you guys do a promo stream. Yeah, you guys, people are like, I don't have a big channel. It's the thought that counts. But as you can see tonight, there was like $1,000 made over here.
Yeah, that was crazy. You guys really, thank you, chat, for real. That was awesome.
And a lot of people just aren't doing promo streams anymore. A lot of people are jaded, or a lot of people are like, I don't even know what's going on. But every little bit helps the thought, and CG has been this community built off of a lot of promo, a lot of like come together, even though I won't do it for Yanzi, but a lot of come together to sell books, to get the word out, the network, all of that stuff. We got it, girl. Woo! And, and I love it. This is what makes CG fun. The chat likes it. Everybody likes it. And I think a lot of people need to get back to that. I think a lot of people need to understand, like, let's fire up a live stream and sell some books.
For sure.
Let's go.
Sometimes it gets hard, that some people kind of like burn you, or kind of I won't get into it because it's a downer.
No.
We're all like good stuff here.
Keep your chin up. Keep your chin up. That's what I say.
Yeah, for real.
Keep
real.
For real. RILL. FU Wooden Shot.
Oh no. Well, I love Wooden Shot, so I'm hoping one day.
Somebody's got to, though. Somebody's got to love him to keep him. Somebody's got to love Woden Shot to keep him off that wobbly stool.
Ooh, ouch.
That was the joke. Like, what if he did hang himself? That little owl, he kicked that stool out from under him, and his little owl body doesn't have enough weight to actually choke himself.
He's just hanging there.
He just hangs there. He just hangs.
Ooh. Oh God. All right. Well, anyway, everyone, I just want to say thank you to you, Shane. Really appreciate it.
I really appreciate you.
Seriously. Thank you. Thank you so much. What really makes the show is everyone in the chat. Like, you guys are great. All the people that were able to back. Thank you so much. You're making the world a better place. We really appreciate it. You're just supporting independent art, and that's at the end of the day what it's all about. So thank you. And until next time, everybody, take care. And I'm going to peace.
Get these ear sets off of me. I've had enough. Get the hell out of my house. In Jesus' name, I pray.